Treasurer Matt Kean has won the deputy leadership of the New South Wales Liberal Party after the Jobs for the Boys saga claimed the position of Stuart Ayres. And joining me now is Matt Kean. Matt, good morning to you. Thanks for your time. Could John Barilaro cost you the election?
No, what will cost us the election is if we don't get back to talking about the things that matter to people, and that's what I'm determined to do. And that's why recently we've announced a range of programs to improve the lives of people in New South Wales, grow our economy, and ensure we build a stronger and more prosperous state for everyone. So we need to get back to talking about the things that matter to real people on the ground. That's what I'm focused on as the Treasurer of New South Wales, and that's what I'll be focused on as the Deputy Leader of the Liberal Party here in New South Wales.
You can't do that just yet, though, because there are so many questions still to answer on John Barilaro, and you've been caught up with it because you encouraged his pursuit of the New York gig. Did you talk to the Premier about Barilaro's candidacy?
No, I certainly didn't, and to suggest that I encouraged anything with regard to John Barilaro is just ridiculous.
Well, no, he said to you that he was going for it, right? And you said, great. Wouldn't that suggest that
he sent me a text message? He sent me a text message. I replied with something supportive. But let's be clear
encouraging.
here, I was the Environment Minister. I'm not really sure that I could persuade John Barilaro to do anything, Pete.
But is that not encouraging someone?
Not at all. He sent me a text message. I replied with something supportive. I didn't give it a second thought. I didn't raise it with anyone. And I didn't hear from John Barilaro again on it. So, I mean, what we've got to do is get back to talking about the good news that we're delivering in the budget. Access to ensure first homeowners can get into the housing market with our stamp duty reforms, universal pre-kindergarten to ensure that every kid in New South Wales is able to get the best education so that they can fulfil their dreams and dream bigger in the first place. Pete, these are the things that matter. These are our policies, and talking about our policies is exactly what's going to get us re-elected.
Because you supported him, though, with those messages, do you accept responsibility for the scandal and two well-qualified women being passed over?
Well, what a ridiculous question. I mean,
of
course, John Barilaro sent me a text message. I responded to the text message as I would with anyone who texts me, and I didn't give it a second thought. I didn't hear from John again. This process is going through a review. The head report is about to come down. We need to implement the recommendations of the head report to ensure this doesn't happen again.
The Premier has refused to express confidence in the London Agent General. Can you express confidence in Stephen Cartwright?
Well, I don't know Stephen Cartwright. I've been made aware of some issues in the last 24 hours that have been reported in the media. The expenditure of public money is currently under review with regard to that posting. And let me just say this in general. Every dollar that government spends needs to be done so responsibly. This is taxpayer money we're talking about, and it shouldn't be frittered away or wasted. That's my focus as the Treasurer, and if there's any suggestion the Agent General has misused taxpayer funds, then we should throw the book at that person.
A Labor government is going to ditch those roles. Will you keep them?
Well, we've made it very clear that we want to see foreign investment coming into New South Wales. That's foreign capital that's required to build our roads, our hospitals, our schools, the things that make this state great. So we need to be out there. There's an arms race on internationally as we compete for the capital to rebuild our economies post-COVID. So we need to be putting our best foot forward to make sure we're seeing that investment coming into New South Wales ahead of the other states and territories.
But what are they doing that High Commissioners aren't already doing?
That's my focus. Well, I mean, specifically focusing on New South Wales, creating opportunities to come into New South Wales as opposed to Queensland or Victoria, for example. We know the Queensland and Victorian Labor governments have these trade postings to compete for investment into their states, and we want to make sure that we're winning the race here in New South Wales.
You're in minority government. 2 ministers have been sacked in the past week alone. You've been in power for 11 years, soon to be 12 years, and sitting on record debt. Why should people re-elect you?
Well, people should re-elect us because we've got a positive plan to build a stronger and brighter future for everyone in New South Wales, and that involves rolling out accessible, affordable childcare here in this state, which will see more than 95,000 women being able to participate more fully in our economy, work longer hours and stay in work. It looks like investing in universal pre-kindergarten so that every kid can get the opportunity to make the most of their education and life's journey. It's like the policies we've got in place around first homeowners. removing stamp duty to make it easy as possible for first homeowners to enter the housing market. And our huge cost of living package, about $7.2 billion to ease household bills and deal with cost of living pressures at this difficult time.
Yeah,
so we've got a positive plan for New South Wales, and we've got a track record of delivery. For the last 10 years, we've rebuilt this state and we've managed the worst health and economic crisis the state's ever seen, better than anywhere else, arguably, in the world. So
you know that no one's listening to that positive plan, though, because
focusing on our positive plans.
But you can see no one's listening. But no one's listening to that positive plan, though, because everyone's talking about John Barilaro and will continue for the week because he's going to appear again on Friday. Do you concede that you can't get clear air?
Well, what I can concede is there's an independent inquiry by one of the country's top public servants, Graham Head, looking at the issues around the John Barilaro situation. He will make some strong recommendations which the government needs to adopt in full to make sure this doesn't happen again. Then we need to get back to talking about the things that matter to the public in New South Wales. That's my focus as the Treasurer, that's my focus as the Deputy Liberal Leader, and that's our focus as a government.
You want more females in government. Why not have a female deputy? Why not have someone like Natalie Ward?
Well, Natalie's outstanding. We have many outstanding women and we want to see them in leadership positions, and I'll certainly be doing everything I can to make that possible. We also need more women in our parliament, more women in the Liberal Party, more women in the National Party, and that's something that I'll be leading as the Deputy Leader of the party. We need to make sure we're doing better on a whole range of fronts, whether it be gender or diversity, in terms of our representation. The Liberal Party should be representative of the community we're looking to serve, and as Deputy Leader, I'll be making sure that we do that, exactly that.